and we're thrilled for you to be here. Look at you all over here. This is wonderful. You are in Maryland. And I have with me 1199 SEIU key leaders in healthcare in Maryland and across the country. And we're going to start this going in some chants for everybody to sing together before we get the elected officials in here and start the program. We're here with a very simple message. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. So let's do it together. I'll do the first part, and you do the next part. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. A little louder next time. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. Keep it going. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. Now these programs have been very successful. Why would anybody want to mess with this success? It doesn't make any sense.
They don't care.
It doesn't make any sense. They're greedy, somebody said. That's it. We're very proud that the Maryland congressional delegation, save maybe one, are united to protect the Affordable Care Act, to protect Medicare, and to protect Medicaid. Why are they going to do that? They're going to do that because the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. We're not going to let them mess with that program, are we? No. We're not going to let them mess with it, are we? No. Our congressional delegation is going to fight very, very hard. Nobody messes with the Affordable Care Act. Hundreds of thousands of Marylanders, millions of Americans have benefited from the Affordable Care Act. Let's have a big hand for President Barack Obama. They accomplished something really tremendous because the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. We're not going to let them harm us here in Maryland. You know, in Maryland, thanks to 1199 and the Maryland Public Health Association and many other parts of our coalition, we were making progress even before the Affordable Care Act in expanding health care to hundreds of thousands of people. With the Affordable Care Act, we have been leading the way in doing it right. And there are people in here, this room, like Sherry Curtis. Where's Sherry Curtis? Raise your hand. Sherry works with a connector agency here, and she can get people enrolled. Anybody else work for the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange? You still have time to enroll in the Affordable Care Act. If you know someone who is not enrolled yet and wants to get enrolled, talk to Sherry or go to MarylandHealthConnection.gov. Get them enrolled. You know, the Republicans should notice that the enrollment period of this time has been the most successful one yet. The most successful one yet, ladies and gentlemen. Despite the threats to repeal the Affordable Care Act, more Americans have enrolled than ever before. There are over 20 million Americans who benefited from the Affordable Care Act. How many people here in this room have benefited from the Affordable Care Act? Raise your hand. Whoa, that's great. We're not going to let them take that away, are we? We are not. Are we going to let them take health care away from people? No! Are we going to protect Marylanders and Americans and the health care they absolutely have a right to? Yes! Yes, we are. And why are we going to do that? Because the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. This is a great success. This is one of the best government programs enacted since Medicare and Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act. Let's have a big hand for the Affordable Care Act. We have accomplished a lot together in America and in Maryland, and we're not going to let them roll the clock back. We're just not going to let them do it. So number one for you all, remember to make sure anybody you know who still needs health care goes to MarylandHealthConnection.gov and gets it before the deadline. The other thing we can all do together is contact our governor, Larry Hogan. Let me explain why. There are other Republican governors in this country, Rick Snyder of Michigan and John Kasich of Ohio, who are calling on Congress to protect Medicaid. Why can't Larry Hogan do it? If these other Republican governors can do it, why can't he do it? So you should all go to his website and demand that he join his other Republican colleagues in demanding that the President and Congress protect Medicaid. It would be a disaster. Well, that's number one, what I'd love you to do. Well, number one, get everybody insured. Number two, tell Governor Hogan to join other Republican governors in demanding that Medicaid be protected. And number three, help us to get the 3 more votes we need. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, 48 Democratic senators are going to stand firm for the Affordable Care Act. Why? Because the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. So they're going to stick with it. We need 3 more votes to block the disaster that they're going to try to create. All of you got a sheet, an action alert. Does everybody have this? If you don't have it, get one. This list, the senators, Republican senators from other states we can reach. If you know anybody in those states, contact them today when you go home, and contact them tomorrow and the next day, and get them to write to their senators and say to their senators, the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. Don't mess with any of them. Don't mess with any of them. You can do it. You can contact any friends and relatives you know in these states and get them to send that message. 3 more senators joining our 48 Democratic senators, and this disaster won't happen. So we need to all work very, very hard. The people in this room, the people across Maryland, the people across the country who benefit from the Affordable Care Act need your help right now. You going to give it? Yes! Who's going to make a call this afternoon? All right. Who's going to send an email to 30 people they know in all these states? And what are you going to tell them to say? The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and protect jobs. Don't mess with them. Don't mess with the Affordable Care Act. Don't mess with Medicare, and don't mess with Medicaid. If you do that, you can help us reach those 3 more senators who can with the 48 Democrats, block this disaster from happening. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to happen. Are we going to succeed? Yes! Yes, we are. We absolutely are. And here come more people from 1199. It's a big hand for 1199. Let's see all of you. I just want to say, no other organization did more to create the Affordable Care Act than 1199. And we thank them very much for being here and help us protect the Affordable Care Act. I also want to thank Karen Tyler and the entire team here at Bowie State for hosting us. Let's have a big hand for Bowie State. Thank you very much, Bowie State. It's a great institution, and this is a great room. I also want to thank Tess Walden, the 60 volunteers. Where's Tess? If you're a volunteer, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you volunteered to help make this happen. You did a great job. And thank you, Consumer Health First, for the great buttons. And a thank you again to every one of you for being here. Now, I think we're going to start pretty soon. The elected officials will be coming. But when they come, I want us all to greet them. And how are we going to greet them? We're going to say, the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. Don't mess with them. The Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. Don't mess with them. And that's what we're going to say when they come in, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say that together. And what? The ACA keeps my husband alive. Let's have a big hand for that. Today, who were kept alive and their lives were made so much better because of the Affordable Care Act. We're not going to let them take that away. Why? Because the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. Don't mess with them. Don't mess with any of them. And ladies and gentlemen, 3 people on this list are going to decide this. 3 people on this list are going to decide whether that person's husband can be kept alive, whether hundreds of thousands of Marylanders and millions of Americans will retain their health care. So I can't emphasize to you enough the importance of making your calls to the people you know in these states. They need to hear from you that we can save the Affordable Care Act, we can save Medicare, and we can save Medicaid. Why are we doing that? Because the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid save lives and create jobs. Don't mess with them. Don't mess with them, Congress, because you will regret it. We will all regret it. But I believe if we all do what we know how to do, we can